All right, looks like there's a little bit of a delay. Chevy 2 Kid 1966. Hello to you, man. All right, looks like there's a little bit of a delay. Chevy 2 Kid 1966. Hello to you, man. All right, looks like there's a little bit of a delay. Chevy 2 Kid 1966. Hello to you, man. All right, looks like there's a little bit of a delay. Chevy 2 Kid 1966. We're not going to be able to do this. Hang on a second, guys. Let's see if I can turn this around. All right, but now I can't see your comments. So you know what I need to do? I need to turn the volume down on the other computer. Hang on just a second. Let me do that. We're not gonna be able to do this. Hang on a second, guys. Let's see if I can turn this around. Okay, now I think I'm getting set up here. Sorry, this is taking long. Hey, Mike B, how you doing, buddy? Sorry, guys. I'm still trying to get this set up right so I can talk to you and all right, maybe, hopefully I'm doing this right. Looks like I've got Sean Ireland. Hey, how you guys doing? Mike B, Patrick, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Hub City Garage, hello from Cowpen, South Carolina. Nice to have you guys here. I've never really done this before, so this is kind of new. If you guys have any questions or anything, or you got a topic you want to talk about, let me know. But like I said, I don't really have an agenda for tonight. I just thought I'd come on and see who wanted to chat. As you can see, I'm in my house. I was planning on doing this over in the bike shop, and I realized I don't have any internet there. So I can't run 2 computers and do all this. Dominic is 70s, Z50s, and swaps. So like swaps, putting like an aftermarket engine in them. You know, I've never done that yet. I've put plenty of Lifens in other bikes, but I have actually never put one in a Z50. They're such small bikes, and I usually build bikes that I want to ride. I just have never done that. So, and maybe in the future, that's something I'll take a look at. So. You can see I got a dog here. I got like I said, I'm at the house, so if you see a couple pups running around, that's just because I'm at home. My wife is out doing. We live in a neighborhood that has an HOA, and she's on the HOA board, and they had a board meeting tonight. So I was kind of left here by myself, and I thought, you know what, I'll just come on and maybe talk to you guys. So. Dominic says, I've got a 78 Z50 and I can't get it running right considering a Lifen. If it's a bike you're going to keep, then yeah, I'm all for putting a Lifen in. Does a Lifen hurt the value of a bike? I get that question all the time. Certainly it does. Most of the people out there who are going to spend any kind of decent money want an original bike with an original engine. But if you're building a bike that you're just going to ride and it's just for your enjoyment, dude, slap that in there and have at it. It's a tremendous amount of fun. So Now on a Z50, you're going to need to gear it, or that's going to probably be a wheelie monster for sure. You won't be able to keep the front end down on that thing. Hub City Garage says he's working on a 73 ST90 right now. I don't mess with the 90cc stuff too much. The engines they look similar, but they're kind of an odd duck bike. I've got a couple ST90s that I've had in the past, and I've actually got a couple now. I think I had at one point, I had like 7 or 8 of them. I sold a slew of them to a guy in Michigan City, Indiana one time, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm just down to the couple that I have. And actually the one that I probably ride, I don't ride it very often, once or twice a year, and it's actually got a life in it, so. I'm hoping you guys, let me know, can you hear me just fine? I'm hoping so. Because I'm not, obviously I don't get any audio back from you, so I'm just looking at your comments on the computer here. So give me a comment. Let me know that you're hearing me okay. Okay, thank you. Probably too loud and clear, right, Patrick? I tend to speak with a rather loud voice, but let's see. I refinished my old Honda 110 from 79 and it ran great. Only needed clutch disc, a carbon rebuild and tune. Yeah, and that is, that's the way to go. And so you had a C110, is that what I'm reading? Those are great little bikes. They've got the larger tires, so they give you a little bit bigger feel more like a real motorcycle, I guess. I think I did a video a couple months back where I rebuilt, or I actually pulled a C110 out of storage. It was my son's, and it had sat for a long time, and got it up and running and gave it back to him. So, yeah. $18 watching. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate you checking in. I'm a little bit early. I said I wasn't going to start till 7, but I wanted to make sure I got this all set up right, so I actually started a few minutes earlier. So one thing I did want to talk about was I had posted or made a video or made a post early in the spring about having a mini bike weekend at my shop, and I still want to do that. I'm going to pare it down considerably. Originally my plans were to have like a whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, and maybe even Sunday type of thing. But then if you've been following along on the channel, you know that I've been building this house for my daughter, and it's just taken so much time and energy, and I'm kind of wore out that at this point, I'm probably just going to have something on one day, like a Saturday. Actually kind of have October 14th penciled in, and I've got it's about a 30-mile out, 30-mile back ride with a couple hour stop down to my parents' house. My dad has a rather large collection of antique tools and that sort of thing from working in the scrapyard, and I thought it might be interesting for you guys to see. It's a beautiful ride through the country, and we can go 2 different routes. So we can go down one route, come back the other. But if anybody is close to Martinsville, Indiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, this area, and you're available October 14th, pencil that in, and I will keep making updates. We'll probably start early in the morning, say leave out 10:30 type of thing. Head out, spend a couple hours down at Dad's, and then ride back. So, all right, Southeast Vintage Cycle Rescue, Patrick Wells. He's saying any updates on the K0 CT70 barn find? No, Patrick, I haven't touched it. For those who don't know what we're talking about, Patrick came up from Alabama. It was May. It was early in May. I don't remember the exact date now. He came up and visited shop in May, and we pulled a bike out that I had sitting there for quite some time. I bought it out of a barn at an auction, and he and I did a video where we Never really actually got it to hear it run, but we heard it pop off. And then I did a few weeks later, I actually did a proper video where got it to actually fire up and run. And Patrick, no, I've been so busy with this stinking house that I have not had time to mess with it. So, but the good news is, for those who are following along on the Happy Cottage build, my daughter's been in the house for about a week now. It's not 100% done. I'm going up tomorrow and the rest of this week to do some trim work and do some of those sorts of things. But she is in the house, so we got to that point. It took us 3 months. I think we started around May 12th or 13th, and it's August 14th now. So let me catch up on a few comments here. Oh, okay. The guy talking about the 110, that was an old ATC 110. You know, I picked one of those up a few months back. It's still sitting in the shop. I haven't done a thing with it yet. That's going to be a video for another day. Marky Mark, who I think he said earlier in the comments, said he was in Belgium. He said 7 o'clock. He says it's 1 o'clock here. Well, that's quite the time difference, isn't it? Chevy 2 Kid, 1966. It's okay. You looked it up. He asked where my shop was. He said, "Dang, that's an 8-hour drive from him." So, love to have you though if you can make it. Wow, we got. I'm so sorry. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name, but we got somebody on here live that's on here now that is from India. Welcome, man. He says he's a big fan. Appreciate it. Appreciate you watch the videos. Hey, Scott Gold, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. You'll be there. So Scott sounds like he might come up from Kentucky to join the ride on that Saturday. I sold Scott. What have I sold you, Scott? 2 or 3 bikes. I've lost track. I know I sold you that Rupp, and I sold you the SL70. Is that the only thing I've sold you? But he's got an SL70 that's got a 125 in it that I think rips pretty good. So, and on this ride, we're probably going to need to have bikes that'll do at least 45 mile an hour to keep up, because we're going to be on some roads that will have some traffic. So an original CT70, you know, that's going to be pushing it, but you know, we're not going to turn anybody down if they want to show up. So Dante, he says, "Hello, Mike." Dante is the man who did this for me. I put out a message post or something. What was it? It's been a few months back now, and asked if any of you guys did any kind of graphic design. I was looking for some logos. So Dante stepped up and sent me a bunch of different stuff, and this was one, and then I've got the one where it looks like it's a hand-drawn, the front end of a CT70, and it says Minibike Mike's Garage. It's actually on the back of this t-shirt, but Dante did those for me, and just, dude, I really appreciate it. You did a fantastic job. Idiot Proof Garage, do you have any 91 through 94 CT70s in your collection you could do a video on? I do not. I think in the 30 years I've been messing with these, I have owned one CT70 in that range of bikes, and I had it for a very short time and got, you know, and just flipped it, just sold it, fixed it up and moved it along. I kind of stick to the 78 and older, the fold down handlebars. That's what I grew up with, the K0 and so forth. And so once you got to 1979 and had the motocross style handlebars and lost the engine guard and some of those things, I really kind of lost interest in the CT70s. So I have the 80s bikes, 90s bikes. I could count on one hand how many of those all combined I've had. So, and don't have any of them right now that I know of. So Scott says, I sold you a CT70 also. Okay. All right. I lose track, man. So hello, I'm in Sierra Leone. Wow. Adam, thanks for joining us. We got 27 watching. I appreciate it, guys. If you're just joining us, sorry, I'm not in my bike shop. This is actually, I'm just at home. I was a little worried about what kind of connection I would get internet-wise over at the shop, so I decided to do it here. So, but don't forget to leave a like for my, hey, thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, or subscribe. I typically don't ask. At one point I did, but I typically don't ask for people to subscribe. I will ask for a like or a comment. Especially love the comments, talking to you guys. But I don't know. I don't want to come off as that I'm, begging for subscribers, because I don't do this to make a living at it. I make a couple $100 a month off of YouTube, and that allows me to buy parts and bikes and so forth. It adds up, but there's no goal to this to have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I think I have 57 or 5,800 subscribers right now, and that's kind of, I like it. We're still kind of intimate. We're not so big that we've lost track of where we came from and so forth. So, but he says it's 4 o'clock in the morning in India. What about you? Where are you from? It is 7:07 p.m., 7:07 in the evening. And I am in basically central Indiana in the United States. So just a little bit south of Indianapolis, Indiana. So. If you guys have any kind of questions or anything, I'm here to answer them if I can, or it can be about bikes. It can about anything you want. I've done some videos. I got an old '56 GMC truck, and I actually been driving it this weekend. I drove it back and forth from the shop to here a few times, and it's running pretty good. I'll have to do an update video on that. I still have a power steering unit that I want to put in it. I don't know if you guys are familiar. You can take a Prius. I know, hate to put a Prius on a cool old GMC truck, but you can take and put a Prius power steering unit, which is electric, in line of the steering shaft, and it gives you power. You just hook 12 volts to it, and it gives you power steering. I really need to do that on that truck. It's a handful to drive, so... Mike Staggs, he says hello to everybody out there. Hello, Mike. Appreciate you joining. Yeah, to go back to Patrick's question on that barn find CT70, that's when I get back in the shop on a regular basis, that'll be the first project that we try and finish up, Patrick. I literally have not touched it at all. I still need to clean. I started kind of messing with the frame and cleaning that up in the last video on it. And I need to get the frame cleaned up and get some parts cleaned up and then start putting it back together. So. Scott Gold says he's looking for a Cub. All right. I can do that. I don't I don't buy a lot of those either. You're talking about like the little step through that's got the fairing type thing, Scott. I've had a couple of them. I had a C100 that I put a life and engine in, about a year or so ago, and it was a fun little build. But yeah, I don't run across those a lot, not in this area. Yeah, this guy, Lagmeister says, I remember the 350 that I put in that GMC pickup. You saw me wrestling with that engine hoist and so forth, putting that thing in there. He says you could throw in an electric water pump and electric radiator fan for a few extra horses. Yeah, I could. At this point in my life, I hate to be a wuss or anything, but I don't need any more speed. I've had enough speed in my life. I've had enough injuries that I'm fine just tootling along, man. Just piddling. I have a real appreciation for guys like, say, Travis Pastrana, who who has been hurt more times than you can count, and he gets right back on that horse and gets back on that bike and goes out and does those crazy stunts and so forth or whatever, jumps in NASCARs. And so having been through an injury or two, I don't really want to do that again. So I'll give that guy some respect. So Idiot Proof Garage says, when are you going to start selling merchandise, shirts, hats, etc.? I've thought about that. Starting a website and selling some merch. And at one point, I was selling some shock disassembly tools and some frame stands and some of those sorts of things. And I don't know if I really want to go down that route. If people are interested in a shirt, I only have shirts right now. I haven't gotten any hats or anything like that. I should have written out my email. My email is ct70help@gmail.com. If you want to send me an email, and we'll talk about, sending out a shirt or doing something like that. But I don't, like I said, I'm not doing this to try and make a buck. I'm retired. This gives me something to do. It gives me a place to go over to the shop, to hang out, gets me out of the house, off the couch, eating ice cream all day. So, I don't know if I want to go real heavy into some of those things, but never know. Maybe I will. So. Somebody's asking me, do the 12-volt DACs use 12-volt 7-amp fuses? That's a pretty good question. I don't know. I buy the wiring harnesses from Trail Buddy, and they have an inline fuse in it and so forth, but I'm not going to lie, I've never pulled the fuse out to see how many amp it is. I've never blown one, so to actually look at it. So, Pro Skates, I really wish I had an answer for you, but I don't. Maybe somebody else does. If you know what size fuse, how many amp fuse go in a 12-volt engine, I guess he's probably, I don't know if he's talking about the new ones that are out, but let me know. Put a comment and I'll pass it along to him. Marky Marks, maybe I forgot, but did you ever do a ZB50? I have not. I kind of mentioned it earlier. I don't do a lot of the 50s. I guess my interest in this hobby is pretty small, pretty unique. Not unique. That's not the word I want to use. Pretty limited, I guess. I really stick to the CT70s. Every once in a while, I'll venture out into like a CL70 or a C110 or something like that. But CT90. But most of the time, I stick with the Trail 70 stuff. Adam asks, are you working on cars? I'd like to. I enjoy working on cars. I worked on cars and stuff long before I ever really jumped into the bikes. And it's funny, I post a video, and there again, I should do this for me, not to try and please anybody else. But I post a video on that 56 GMC pickup. In 24-hour period, it'll get 200 views. If I post a video on a CT70, in about 3 hours, it's got 1,000 views. It's amazing. The viewers, you guys out there, the viewers who have chosen to subscribe and like this channel, they want the CT70 stuff. If I veer off and do anything, it's just like these house videos, which I really get the house ones. They'll get maybe a couple hundred views over a few weeks' time. But the truck ones, I thought they would get more than that. But I may work on a few cars here and there down the road just to throw some extra content in. All right. Hi from Oregon, working on an 81 CT that someone messed up while doing a 6-volt to 12-volt mod for the 190 motor. Okay, good luck with the 56 GMC. Nice project. Yeah, I built a couple bikes with 190s a long time ago when the 190s first came out 10, 12 years ago. I got a dog that's they're making some noise back here. And I think they're wired the same way as the Lifens and so forth, but I'm not 100% sure. So if you got a specific question about that, about the wiring, send me an email and maybe we can talk and try and figure it out for you. Danny Moto Vlogs, hello. Hey Danny, how you doing? Gerard, I have a 1970 CT70H, but I installed an aftermarket head and piston rings, only getting 74 PSI on compression tests, and suggestions would be greatly appreciated. If it is one of those Chinese aftermarket heads, you probably have the wrong piston. Let's see, no, but you said you bought it all as one set. It should go. I've actually never used one of those because I just tend to swap in the whole entire engine rather than put a different top end on. But I keep reading on forums like Little Honda and so forth that, if you don't have that stuff matched up just right, if you're using a head that's supposed to have a flat top piston and you've got a domed, it just messes everything up. So Gerard, unfortunately, I don't have any real answers to help you there. Lagmeister, I went from the Chevy 350 and my Sierra to a Dodge 3500 with a Cummins, and I feel like it was way too much power with a 5-speed behind it. When I first drove it, I felt like it had too much power. Yeah, bone stock. Yeah, they'll get it, that's for sure. I don't know. Can you guys hear this? Can you guys, Rico, what's the problem, buddy? Huh? Why you? Sorry about that. Techno Ski, what's your favorite CT70 year and why? Well, that might be the easiest question I've ever been asked. Definitely a Candy Gold CT70 K0. That is the first Trail 70 bike I had. Most of you guys have probably heard my story. Dad was a mechanic at a scrap yard, and he had a garage at home that he would work on tractors and cars and trucks and motorcycles, and if bikes came in the scrap, he generally picked them up, brought them home, and he had a huge pile of stuff just so he'd have parts whenever he was working on a customer's bike. And so I got a Candy Gold CT70 when I was, I don't know, maybe 7, something around in there. I started off with a little Z50. I had a few pull start mini bikes along the way. And then had that Candy Gold CT70 K0, and that's by far and away, my favorite. It's probably the bike I've built the most on the channel, actually, that same bike. So okay, so Patrick Wells is saying that Gerard, you most likely have the later long rod piston. Most of those kits are misadvertised. That's what causes the low compression, and that's exactly what I have read on forums and so forth, the exact same thing that Patrick is saying. So, and I'm guessing, you guys let me know. I guess you guys can see the comments too. So, but you can go back and read through the comments yourself. But some videos you make are sleepier and we'll pick up steam later on. Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah. I'm learning a lot about how to tag or post the videos. Early on, when I was editing videos and posting them on YouTube, I didn't tag them correctly or didn't tag them at all. And in the last 6 months, as I've posted a video, I've started using more tags, and that seems to have helped get videos get more likes or get more views. And so, yeah, I think you're right. The more I learn about this, the videos may pick up more steam. And I'm still not very slick at it, nor do I really want to be, honestly. I want the videos to stay, I don't want them to be over flashy. I don't want this to be a huge production. I want you guys, the people that watch the videos, to feel like they're just watching somebody just like them at home. And that's what I'm trying to put across, that the stuff I do, anybody can do it. It's just, I just happen to throw a camera out in front and let you guys see it. So. Idiot Proof Garage, do you have YouTube reps yet to help with branding and PR? No, there again, because I don't really do this to make a living at it, and I'm going to have to get up and close a blind here in a minute because I live on a lake and the sun is setting in the west over here, and the reflection off that lake is starting to hit me right in the face. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Matter of fact, give me just 1 second. I'm going to be right back. Okay, sorry about that, but it was getting to the point where I was being blinded. I couldn't even see the camera in front of me. Okay, the question was about reps and branding and PR type stuff. And no, I haven't done any of that. My philosophy is the instant that I start taking gifts or money from sponsors and all those sorts of things, then this becomes a job. And I don't really want a job. I'm retired. I want to have, and I'm a control freak. I want to have 100% control over what I put out. I don't want to have somebody saying, well, hey, we're paying you to say this or to do this, use this tool or use that. What? I really don't think I ever really want to go down that road. So kind of the reason, why I don't have some of that stuff. Big thanks for the Life in Wiring Loom videos. That's what brought me to your channel initially. I also need to start using tags. A few of my friends have told me about that. I've yet to do it. The wiring videos are definitely my most popular videos. I think my most popular video out there is one I put up a year and a half ago on just how the basic simple wiring to get a Lifen engine to run. No lights or anything else, just the simple harness, CDI, coil, put fuel in it and go. And I think that video has 175,000 views or something like that, which is just crazy. And every single month, it is my highest viewed video. I've lost track of how many times it's been shared and so forth. So I think you are probably in the same boat that half or better of the people who watch this channel are. They came here to get some information on how to wire in a Lifen, and that's cool. It's what I like to do, so I don't mind helping doing that at all. Patrick, if you're still out there, if you're still watching, if you're still joining us, well, what's up with the little Honda Spree that I saw you did the video on? That's a cool little bike. I like that. I think you said in the video you got that for your wife to ride, so she can take. You guys are going to go to Barber. I've never been to Barber. I'm hoping next summer is my summer to get out and do more mini bike type stuff. I've never been one to go to like a lot of swap meets and shows and those sorts of things. And there's so much stuff that's actually pretty close to me. There's a big thing in Portland, Indiana. There is the Mid-Ohio, the AMA Vintage Days over. I'd love to go to. I've never been to Barber, maybe go down there. So hopefully, one of these days, next year, I'm hoping to do that. We bought the RV. So it makes traveling a little bit easier. So I can throw a bike on the back or two and take them with me. Patrick says he had one that has Spree as a teenager. And so yeah, I got it for his wife. Yep. Technos Ski, you should turn on YouTube monetization and make a couple extra bucks for gas. I actually do. I have the monetization turned on, and I make with the 5,800 subscribers that I have, I make anywhere from $200 to $300 each month. Just kind of depends on. I don't really totally understand the whole YouTube algorithm thing, but I think it depends on how many views and clicks and all that kind of stuff that you get, and how long they actually watch the videos. And so yeah, so I actually I have them, I'm getting paid to do it. And it is nice to have just a couple extra bucks to, like I said, to buy parts here and there, and to continue to work on bikes, because as we all know, it is an expensive hobby. What is a single trail wing tire is what, $75 now, and K0 seats that you used to buy for $60-70 or almost $200 now if you get them at certain places. Every once in a while, like I did a video, I bought some the other day for, I think, were they 105 or 115 or something like that. So yeah. Mike B, I agree with the electrical videos. You're the master for electrical on these bikes. You've kept me from going insane. Yeah, Mike, it's again, dude, I had a great time going out to your place and visiting you, and I look forward to getting in the RV and doing some more on the road type videos. I'd like to maybe find some more where we actually go and do like a rescue type of thing, or revival type of thing, where go and help somebody get their bike up and running. Those are kind of fun, and I've only got the opportunity to do like one of those, I think. Most of them, the on-the-road videos, have just been us going and visiting people, but truly enjoyed that also. But Mike, you're welcome. Glad to help you get your bike up and running. So. Southeast Vintage Cycle Rescue. Any plans to finish up your black 78 CT70 clone bike? One of these days, Patrick. One of these days. So if you don't know what he's talking about, a year ago, last June, I bought two CT70 clones. There's two companies out there right now that are probably the most popular ones selling clones. That's the Ice Bear Champion and the Amigo Rocky. And last June, I bought one of each so I could compare them and do videos on them, and comparing them against each other, comparing them against an original CT70 and so forth. And each bike has probably got somewhere 400 to 800 miles on it. The Ice Bear I rode consistently at the beginning and racked up a whole bunch of miles on it, and it was a great little bike. Well, I specifically bought a black one because I had in mind that down the road I wanted to turn it into a tribute bike to a 78 CT70. I wanted to kind of challenge myself to see just how close I could get it to look like one. And I have that bike about 98% done, and I just need to finish it up. All I've got, and it's wiring. It's, I need somebody to help me come wire it. No, I've got it all done except for basically wiring the headlight, and I could ride the silly thing. And then the Amigo Rocky, that bike, I've got 700 or 800 miles on it. That's the bike I threw on the back of the RV and went down, and we did 2,000 miles, and I rode with Jason Bartley down in Kentucky, and then I wound up going all the way to West Virginia and riding with Ben, and we did that 60-mile backcountry ride, which was just fantastic. So I look forward to doing a lot more of that too. So. Yeah, agreed, Mike. Hopefully we can get back together and see each other again sometime soon. I have a sister and brother-in-law. My wife's sister lives in Mike's area, so we will probably make it back that way. And if you ever get a chance to make it out here, man, we'd love to host you and have you stop by here. So. So Lagmeister saying he was tempted to get one of the CT70 clones and drop a 190 or a 212 into it, but ended up getting a Pagsta chopper. I'm not familiar with that. out of someone's backyard and put I got something covering it up. What's that? What do you put in it? A 125? Is that what that says? With a suicide shift. So yeah, I tell you what, those 212s are monster engines. If you ever watch the On the Road video with Jason Bartley down in Kentucky, he's got a Ice Bear clone that he put a 212 in, and oh my goodness, does that thing rip. It's a little scary, actually. So, but yeah, and then you talk about suicide shift. I've got that silly little chopper build that I built out of that messed up CT70H frame, and I built a chopper out of it and used a suicide shift and a suicide brake on that. But that's actually a fun little bike. It's sitting in the back of my 56 GMC. I've been driving around the last few days in the old truck, and then have that chopper sitting in the back, which is kind of fun. So. I don't know if anybody else has joined that didn't hear it earlier, but I'm thinking about having a mini bike day here at my shop in Martinsville, Indiana, October the 14th. Looking at just having a day where we go out and do a ride and make a couple stops, and probably do about 60 to 70 miles total, I would say. Already been putting some thought into it to make sure there's gas at the stop at the halfway, so that we can, because I don't know, my bike only, if I use just the stock tank on one of my clone bikes, it only gets about 40 miles, and I got to be finding gas. So, but yeah, if you're in this area and available around October 14th, let me know. My email is ct70help@gmail.com. You can send me an email, and we can connect and talk about more of that if you like. What other channels do you guys watch on YouTube? I watch a few other mini bike channels. I watch Patrick's channel, the Southeast Vintage Cycle Rescue channel. There's a couple other ones that I watch, but there's not a lot of them out there. Most of the stuff I tend to watch on YouTube is more the vehicle, the car and truck revivals, not restorations, but rescues. And those are a lot of fun. I actually just started watching a channel probably in the last couple months. I think it's a husband and a wife. It's called What the Rust is the name of their YouTube channel, and they go out and find old vehicles, and they just basically get them running. Unlike say like a Vice Grip Garage that actually gets them running and then drives them a distance back home. What the Rust, they just typically just go through the steps to get it running, but I've enjoyed them. They just did a video a week or so ago where they went through a tour of an old abandoned auto parts warehouse I think in Louisville, Kentucky. And that video kind of struck home because that's my shop. My bike shop is an old parts store. It's probably about the 10th of the size of the shop that they went through. But it was kind of a similar situation where whoever had that shop, and just like the person who had mine, they retired one day, locked the door, walked out, and left everything in there. And when we bought our shop 9 years after it closed, and it still had all those parts in there, and we shipped them out and sold them to a place down in Alabama. But yeah, if I don't know what other videos you guys like to watch, but check out. I watch What the Rust, Budget Builds, Vice Grip Garage, Junkyard Digs, all those guys, and it's fun. I enjoy that type of thing. So anybody that's turning wrenches, and I get the question every once in a while, well, how did I get involved in YouTube? And that really came about, and if you've heard this story, I apologize, but it came about because I got so fed up with just regular TV. Back in the day, I was kind of like a lot of you guys probably watched American Chopper and Overhauling and all that kind of stuff. And it became so drama filled and, you know, just silly, stupid stuff that I was like, I'm not watching this anymore. And so I actually probably, I'm looking at my TV. Any other than watching YouTube videos on my TV, I bet that TV's not on an hour a week. I just don't watch anything else really. So I turned to YouTube because I wanted to see real people doing real stuff in their own garage. And that's kind of how I got started then. I started watching these channels, started talking to my kids about it. And my kids were like, Dad, why don't you do that? Why don't you start your own channel? So that's what I did. So. Oh, so Lagmeister's saying those 190 and 212 engines aren't cheap, and yeah, you're right. They're not. They're not cheap. Nothing. Well, you know, I remember when I could buy a real Lifen branded 125 for just a couple $100, but now to get a Lifen that's actually branded as a Lifen semi-automatic engine, you're talking $400 to $500 now. So when I finally finished it, a lady ran the bike over in its parking spot 10 minutes before I was, oh my gosh. Bigfoot Bikes and Brews YouTube channel has some good vintage Honda content, small stuff and ATCs. Okay, thank you, Patrick. I don't think I've run across that one yet. I'll have to give that one a look. Well, you guys, if I don't, like I said, I didn't really have an agenda. I just wanted to come and chat. If you guys got any questions, hit me up or anything. If not, I won't bore you too long. We'll cut out of here. My wife's probably going to be here in about another 20 minutes, so I wasn't going to go much past an hour anyway. But yeah, if you've got anything, any comments or questions or anything, just let me know. Again, if you want to contact me, my email is ct70help@gmail.com, or you can just contact me through the comments or something on a video. I try and respond to all the comments I can. Every once in a while, I'll go back and look through a video or something and see a comment where I missed it, and you know, the notification must have came in at a time when I got lots of notifications or something. And if I haven't commented or haven't replied to a comment that you made on a video, I apologize, because I still do try and hit those. But Jeffrey Jones, hey buddy, how you doing? One of these days I'm going to make it out to Maryland again and see Jeffrey. I think I'm right, Jeffrey? You're in Maryland. I used to go out that way quite a bit. My youngest son, who runs our steel shop, he played lacrosse in college, and if you're going to play lacrosse in college, most of the time it's played on the East Coast someplace. And so he actually started off in school in Pennsylvania, and so we traveled all over that Northeast and watching him play lacrosse. So I've been to Maryland a few times, but Merlin. So Jeffrey says they call it Merlin. Gerard says Cars and Camera. Yeah, I subscribe to Cars and Cameras. I don't watch every video they put out, but I watch most of them. Yes, and then the guy that's also the secondary guy in Cars and Camera, Isaac. It'll be fine. I actually like his. He does a lot of car stuff on his own individual channel, which I enjoy watching him. So. Gerard's saying Cars and Cameras, but I haven't seen them on YouTube in a while. They're still out there. Now, they used to do a Monday and Wednesday video, but they posted one a few months back that due to time restraints and being, you know, just the stuff that they got going on, hell, they got over 1 million subscribers, I think they only put out a Monday video now, Gerard. So it's just one day a week. So you might actually, and today's Monday. So they probably put something out today. You might take a look at that. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate the advice / help. You're very welcome. Sorry, just kind of reading through, make sure I didn't miss any comments or anything. I've got some videos I want to do coming up on some different bikes. I talked a bit ago that CT70 is obviously my favorite bike, and a lot of videos do revolve around those. But I've got a handful of Honda S65s and some CL70s, and I think we might throw in a few videos on those. I hadn't done a Z50 video for the first couple of years I had the channel, but I've done a couple of those in the last few months. I'm still, if you saw the little Z50 that had the flames, my gosh, what a great little bike. I go over to the shop. Because I'm working on this house, I don't make it over there on a regular basis. But whenever I go over there, I turn the fuel on that thing, and within 2 kicks, it fires up every time. That is a fantastic running little bike. And so I buzz it around the shop and have some fun. So I've got some other bikes that I want to do some videos on, and some things like that. So look for those upcoming. Guys, if nobody else has anything else, I think maybe we'll hang it up. I appreciate you all coming in and saying hi and asking questions and making comments. It's always much appreciated. So if you have any suggestions for as far as content for the channel or changes I can do, I'm always open to that. I've started trying to use a separate mic on some stuff that maybe hope to get the sound quality a little bit better. But anyway, guys, have a great day, and keep looking for videos, and I'll keep trying to put them out as quickly as I can. So everybody have a great day. See ya.